Testing, 1, 2. I don't know if this is working. So I'm having some technical difficulties over here. Okay, let's see if I can do this. All right, so I'm sorry I'm late, you guys, but doing this, wow, that is so bright. Doing this from work is a little different for me. So just give me a minute to try to get this camera on here properly. Okay. All right, you guys, again, sorry about being late. I mean, would it really be alive by me if I wasn't a little bit late? My husband probably wouldn't think that's funny. But anyway, I was gonna wear my glasses so that I could read comments for the question and answer portion of this video. But I guess we'll just kind of have to, you'll have to put up with me moving forward and back a lot so that I can see the screen because I am blind. I can see up close, don't worry. I know what I'm doing when I'm doing brows, but far away, Like if I see someone out at a bar or I'm out to dinner and they're like 2 tables away and they wave, I don't know if they're waving at me or if they're waving at the person behind me. So it's kind of like one of those like head nod smiles, like just in case they weren't waving at me. I feel like it's safe. Okay, so if anyone, let's see. Okay, remember to God, I want to make sure, I want to see if I can see the chat. I'm sorry guys, like on my phone, it's just not showing me everything that I'm used to seeing. So I have my iPad here too, and I'm gonna see if I can see my comments on here, because I don't even know if you guys can hear me right now. So if anyone can let me know if you can hear me, because if you can't, I will take the mic off, okay? All right, so let's see if this is working. Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, so, hey guys, I'm Kristi. I'm the owner of Boss Brows. I do microblading, permanent makeup. Basically, I just slay eyebrows all day and provide helpful videos with tips and tricks and my business experience for others, because I know how hard it was when I first started. I was actually talking to my hair girl about this morning, how some people can be like really stingy with sharing information, which I don't get. It's not like I'm asking you for the recipe to your secret sauce that's been in your family for generations. You know, sometimes people just need a little guidance or advice when learning how to, things were telling me my pants were unbuttoned, guys. You know, sometimes people need a little advice because they're new at something, you know, so whatever. So that is why I'm doing this video, because I was thinking about a common question that my students or people on YouTube or Instagram will like DM me, message me, and this is the big one. How do you find clients to work on, you know, being worried about botching someone's eyebrows? Let's see, what are some of the other big ones? How do you price your services? And then building confidence. Because to me, the big one is building confidence. I feel like everyone no matter what, always asks, how do I become more confident in microblading or in my PMU business? And that is what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so I do have notes, and I want to, hit all of these points that I wrote down. And then if you are watching live at the end, I will answer any questions for you guys if you have any. I want to be as helpful as possible because, again, I know what it's like to be new at something and to be really scared to ask questions because you're embarrassed that maybe you were already supposed to know that answer and they're going to judge you that you don't know the answer. Or just embarrassed that they're going to be a biatch and make you feel stupid and not be nice. I don't know. Maybe that's just me because I'm a little sensy. Okay, so let's build your confidence. It's actually easier than it sounds. There's one thing that isn't easy and can't be done quickly is time and experience. So everything else that I'm going to explain to you are things that you can do right now, okay? So let's build your confidence, which will in turn help your business, whether it's a beauty business or PMU, microblading, whatever, and in turn get more clients, because more clients or new clients means more money, more success, more money to spend on yourself or your business and invest in continued education, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so first off, I feel like, okay, we have a few people watching now. My glasses are so dirty, you guys. I really thought I cleaned them, but I guess they got dirty again. If you guys are being honest, what are your biggest fears right now? Or if you're new in your PMU business, what are your biggest fears? Anyone out there, YouTube world? Because I feel like fears are things that really prevent us from succeeding. And it doesn't matter what the fear is. Everyone has some type of fear. But if there's something that I haven't, touched on or brought up, please let me know because I want to make sure I can help you guys. Okay, so how do you prepare for success? Meaning, how can you become more confident in what you do? Consistency in clients. Okay, good one. So this is going to help with that, I think. And I also have other videos with that. However, being in the service industry, consistency is hard because, it's not a 9 to 5. We don't clock in, clock out. It's commission based. So sometimes people cancel, people are busy and have lives of their own. But this will help you as far as being confident to get out there, promote yourself, feel like, you can just slay some eyebrows and really sell your service. Okay, so like I said, how to prepare for success, which in turn is going to build your confidence, okay? Let's see, 4 steps to building your confidence. The first one, and these are gonna go in order. So the first one is practice, practice, practice. Now, okay, everyone always says practice, but this is a thing because I teach and I see a lot of my students and their process and how they learn, and I remember distinctly what my process was when I was learning. Everyone has a different learning style, but what I've noticed is that when people, newbies, students, or anyone, when people are learning something new, in my class, like for example, the stroke pattern, I noticed that they tend to try to duplicate that particular stroke pattern without even looking at the picture, okay? So if I were to say, draw an octagon, and you didn't know what an octagon was, you would need to look at a picture, right? Or maybe figure out what it was, but you would look at a picture, go to your piece of paper, draw that octagon, but every line you make, you would look at that picture of the octagon. Because we know, we learned this as kids, that it has 8 sides, I think. But if you didn't know that, how would you know? It's not in your brain yet. So this is something I noticed with my students, is that they're trying really hard and then getting frustrated because they don't already know it and they don't know it perfectly. It's not coming to them like that. So you have to practice perfectly. I mean, tracing someone else's work. With my students, I give them stroke patterns that I have them trace. This seems really silly, and I feel like for a lot of people, they do it pretty, they don't really think about it. But if you really practice slowly with intention, and you're thinking about your every move, your every stroke, your body position when you're making that movement or that stroke, there's something called muscle memory, and that is what I'm trying to help you adapt or develop, is your muscle memory. So you can practice and practice and practice all day long, but not get better, which that's not really gonna help you, right? So it's not just practice, practice, practice. It's practice, perfect practice, and be patient with yourself, okay? How can you do this? Like I said, I think tracing, like for me, because I had to kind of train myself, I would take screenshots of other artists' work on like Instagram or whatever, zoom in, print that picture, and then literally trace their strokes just so I could learn a pattern. And by doing that, what I didn't realize at the time, but I was teaching or training my brain that muscle memory, okay? So like I was working out some new muscles. And just like any muscle, it takes time and, practice doing it over and over again to strengthen that muscle. So that is one way. Synthetic skins. I love synthetic skins. We actually sell them on our website. I love them because you can take them anywhere and practice your stroke pattern anywhere. You don't need pigment, so you're not wasting your expensive pigment, and it's not messy. And you can do one eyebrow in 5-10 minutes, or you can spend an hour doing a whole page. It's really up to you and what the amount of time you have to dedicate. Right now, I've been doing microblading for, it's been 6 years now. And just last night, I was practicing my strokes on some synthetic skin. Now, I will say I don't practice as much as I was during quarantine because I had more time. But after a vacation or a long weekend, or if I'm trying something new, or if I feel rusty, I will practice my stroke pattern. I will look at other people's work and see what I like about it, look at a new style or try something different, because you want to spice it up. You don't want to be boring. You want to be able to adapt and give your clients what they ask for, and that doesn't always mean the same stroke pattern. So yes, that's a big one. That seems like yeah, Kristi, I know that. I know, practice, duh. But you'd be surprised how many people say to me, yeah, I've already been trained in that. And I think to myself, gosh, so you could do the same training again and learn something new. And honestly, you will learn something new because at this point, you've already been introduced to the material. So now you kind of know what the curriculum is about and talking about. So now you are entering into that curriculum in a new state of mind. You have a new point of view. So yeah, definitely you're gonna learn something new, and you're going to strengthen your technique, which I always emphasize in my class is your building blocks. You can't build a solid foundation unless your technique is solid, a solid foundation, okay? So if you can't do a perfect stroke or a perfect staircase or draw an eyebrow or, these simple things, hit the skin at 90 degrees, stretch the skin flat on the flattest part of the bone, then do not proceed. Go back to the basics, practice, because you're just going to frustrate yourself when you are failing at something because you chose to go you know, on the double diamond when it was your first time skiing instead of hitting the bunny slopes. If you don't ski, the reference is the hardest slope versus like, you know, the little guy. So yeah, baby steps, practice, perfect practice, continued education. I do a class for myself every year, whether it's an introductory class, an advanced class, a new class. Today, my employee and I are going to do a new technique. We're gonna learn how to do machine strokes, which is something I really wanted to do. But you know, I already know it's gonna take me a while to learn, so you know, that's new, but I'm still practicing my other stuff. Okay, you guys get the point. All right, practice. Fake it till you make it though, okay? And what I mean by that is practice. I said synthetic skins, all of that, trainings. Do free services. You learned a new procedure or you know, a new technique, do a free service. Work on a model for free. Not only the initial appointment, but the touch-up, because you want to see those healed results. When my students finish their training, they get certified, I don't require or make it mandatory, but I highly recommend doing 10 services for free. Free, I hate using that word because it is priceless. It's 5 clients, so you're already building your clientele, because a lot of people like things that are free, okay? So it's not hard to find clients when it's for free, or it's not as hard. The expectation and the pressure you put on yourself is down here instead of up here. If I'm charging $800 for microblading, you better believe it's going to be an $800 pair of eyebrows, okay? If I paid for something and it was very expensive and it broke down right away or, you know, fell apart, I would take it back. When I pay $900 for a pair of boots, I know it's because the quality, I like the style and, you know, the brand, but the quality, comfort, you know, timeless, all of these things, it's like, you know, you pay for what you get, or you get what you pay for, okay? So if you're giving away services, they can't expect that much from you. So you have essentially, this sounds bad, but lowered the bar, so you are making it easier for yourself to succeed. Don't set the bar up here and then get mad at yourself when you trip and fall. That doesn't help build confidence. It's only going to discourage you. So I like to, you know, underhand pitch, or, you know, softball, whatever it's called, when I'm teaching, because if someone can do something perfectly on one client, it will be easier to duplicate on a client that has really difficult skin, or, you know, like thin skin, sensitive, or they're a bleeder, because they already have that muscle memory. It will be harder and more annoying, but they have that confidence. And I promise you, I guarantee you that the way you think affects your outcome. It affects your physical motions. If I'm thinking to myself, I suck, I can't do this, oh my gosh, when's this gonna end? You're not focusing on delivering a perfect service. You're focusing on how you're gonna fail. So fake it till you make it, okay? I recommend all my students doing 5 models for free, but that means 10 services. You'll start to build your portfolio, your clientele, your experience, and they're gonna tell their friends. So now, you know, your network. It's priceless. I highly recommend it. Like I said, fake it till you make it. Portfolio. When I first started, I didn't have a lot of pictures, but let me tell you, the pictures I took were pristine. I literally have 3 ring lights right now, and they're not perfectly positioned, so I feel like I have some shadows. But when I take before and after photos of my clients, I'm taking like 12 photos. Here, 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 video, 1 laying down, 1 sitting up. I like to use a white backdrop, the ring light so there's no shadows. I make sure that the before and after photo, the angles line up, you know, that the client's eyes are open, because if my photos look good, they look professional, it just is a positive representation of not only my professionalism, but people are gonna think I'm better at what I do. And that sounds shallow, but it's true. People like pretty things. People like to look at things that are, you know, pleasing to the eye. My ex-boyfriend, funny, kind of a dick, but he made a good point. When I first started microblading, I was excited and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now. And I showed him a picture and he goes, ugh, like that's gross. No one wants to see a girl's eyebrows that close, all red and swollen and whatever. And I was like, but like, how else am I supposed to showcase my work? But it was like, you know, he made me think, yeah, you're right. Is that attractive? No. So I really stepped up my game, and I do have a video on that. Definitely check out that video. It is a game changer. When I see pictures, like people who do good work, but the pictures are bad, I don't even take a second glance, you know? Really good pictures, clear, bright, focused, same angle. You know, you can use an app to remove the redness. Game changer. It creates a nice portfolio, and we are in the beauty business, so our pictures better look beautiful. Okay, so that's faking it till you make it. I really only had a few clients that I had done, but I recycled those photos a lot. Okay, point number 2, put yourself out there, okay? Do you know how hard it is for me to do a YouTube, let alone a live? I feel I can talk to strangers, I can talk to a crowd of 1,000 people, but you put a camera in front of me and I feel like I lose all my words. I stumble on my thoughts. I can't, you know, formulate a sentence. And I don't know why, because I'm not really shy. But I put myself out there because I wanted to build a community. I wanted to share my tips and tricks. I wanted to be the person or business that people could trust and go to when they need advice, you know, help with something, education. And there's no reason why anyone would turn to me or my business if I don't put myself out there. So that means, and this one's a big one, create a Yelp. I friggin' highly dislike them because they harass you all the time. Side note, do not pay for the ads. Yelp alone is all you need. You will drum up a lot of business. Don't pay for the ads, especially when you're new. I mean, go for it. You can if you have the budget, but when you're new, you have more time than money usually. So take advantage of free apps and platforms like Yelp. Create a Yelp. I was working out of my house and I was scared to put myself on Yelp, but I did it anyway. And I had people, at first it was just friends, and then strangers were making appointments, and I couldn't believe it, but it was the way I presented myself, the way I put myself out there. You know, the worst thing that can happen, someone says no, you know what I mean? Like, that's the worst thing that can happen. Sorry guys, my light turned off. Let's see here. Anyway, the lighting's not gonna be as good. Oh no. Yeah, so the worst thing that can happen when you put yourself out there is people say no, okay? Like, I always tell my girlfriends who are doing online dating, when they're like, it's awkward, you know, and they're just like, they're not about it. And I think to myself, like, why is it so much easier for guys? And it's like, yeah, I know, because guys are used to rejection. Guys are the ones who ask girls out. So they know it's a numbers game. The more times you put yourself out there, the more often you put yourself out there, the more exposure, the more people are looking at you, which means the higher chance of booking out, you know, building your clientele consistently. So put yourself out there. Yelp is the big one. And I like Yelp because it shows stats and like the age of the person, the sex, the area they live, and you know, that's helpful. So yeah, put your before and after photos on Yelp. Ask for reviews. There's no shame in your review game, okay? I don't really do it as much anymore. I'm going to start, but how else will people know about you unless you ask for your clients to leave reviews? And it's super easy when you're new. Everyone loves a new, you know, young business because they see all the hope and excitement. So all you have to say is, you know, thank you so much. I'm glad you love your brows. I would make sure they love their brows. If they hate them, I would not be asking for a review. But, you know, I would just say, hey, you know, thank you so much for trusting me with your eyebrows. If you wouldn't mind going on Yelp and leaving me a review, I would really appreciate it. You know, I'm new to this area and in this industry, and I'm trying to, you know, educate people on what microblading is and get my name out there. If you don't have time, don't worry about it. But if you could, I would really appreciate it. You could always bribe them with like 5% off, but you'd be surprised how many people do it for free. Okay, Instagram, Facebook, for sure. For sure, Instagram and Facebook at a minimum. Make sure that they are business accounts and that they're not private. How are people going to search you if they're searching by hashtag like microblading St. Louis or eyebrow waxing Los Angeles? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are they going to find you if your account is private? No one wants to spend the time requesting to be your friend or to follow you and waiting for you to get back to them or approve their request, because by then they've already moved on to the next artist or next business. So put yourself out there. Don't be scared, because the best way to get clients is by, you know, taking a swing at it. And the more times you swing, the higher chance or probability of hitting the baseball. Yeah, I just used a baseball analogy. It wasn't one of my best analogies, but you get the point. Okay, and the other thing for putting yourself out there is Vagaro. I love Vagaro because it's an online booking app / website builder. I mean, it does everything for a beauty business. It really is made for the beauty business. So when I first started, I had Vagaro. I can't remember how much I paid, but I think it was only $10 extra a month for the Vagaro to take all of my information, my address, my phone number, my name, my services, my prices, photos, you know, all of that, and put that in their template, and you can kind of choose one of their templates for a website. It's a very simple website, but it does the trick. You need a website. You need a landing page, something that a client, a prospective client can go visit and see your pictures, and while they're there, book an appointment. I think it's something crazy like 67% of my clients who book outside of business hours. So think of all of those missed opportunities if you don't have a website with online booking. So yeah, don't quote me, but I think it's $10 a month for Vagaro, and it's super easy. I did all this myself, by the way, my website, everything. I have gotten better, but now is the time to do these things because you have more time than money. Do not spend money to have someone build you a website. It's gonna cost thousands, like tens of thousands, and it's not necessary. You know, I mean, again, you can. I'm not gonna tell you where to spend your money. You can, but I would just, you know, use all the free apps you can. Okay, number 3, and I think the last 2 are the most important. So if you weren't listening or if you were sleeping because I'm boring you and I'm sorry, pay attention right now, because I am telling you the reason why I am consistently booked out, the reason why I don't have why I have a lot of 5-star reviews and very little unsatisfied customers or clients is because of my consultation. So if you are new in microblading or permanent makeup and you have not, worked on, I don't know, at least 10 clients, I would say for like the first 6 months at least, require a in-person consultation first. Make it mandatory. You can, honestly, if you can do it before they actually book, this is what's really gonna build your confidence. Talk about building your confidence. A complimentary consultation takes like 15 minutes, you guys. It gets you comfortable talking to clients, okay? So even if they don't book with you, you have practice communicating. It gets you in front of faces to look at eyebrows so you can start noticing different skin textures, different skin types, different profiling, all different ages and Fitzpatrick scales and, whatever. You just want more clients to see so that you get experienced. This is how you build your confidence. So always require a consultation in your first, few months of microblading. This will build your confidence. Why? Because you know what you're walking into. Your client will come in and you'll explain the microblading procedure. You'll go over the contraindications to microblading, so like skin conditions, medical conditions, skin type, sensitive skin, how to prep their skin for the service, all of these things you can go over at that consultation, and then you can kind of game plan. So now when they come back for their appointment, you already have a plan. And how much better does it feel when you have a plan? When you have a plan, you don't feel so unorganized, you don't feel scared, and you wanna know why? Because we fear the unknown. So if you already know what you're doing because you've seen their skin, if you already know, if you already know what to expect, it's gonna make your job a lot easier. So when you walk into something confident and positive and prepared, most likely you're gonna be more successful, okay? And then also, it's gonna prevent those clients who come in with previous permanent makeup and totally throw you off guard, where you're like, oh my God, shit, I am not ready to work over previous permanent makeup. Okay, so complimentary consultation, require them. Do them in person. I promise you, this is going to build your confidence. And you could even do something like offer a discount if they, at their consultation, book their microblading appointment that same day. So let's say I just saw Sally and I just explained the microblading procedure. We discussed like what her eyebrow goals are, yada yada, how to prep for it, what to expect in the aftercare. And she's like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. Well, I'm gonna assure her that everyone's nervous. That's totally normal. It's okay to be nervous. But if she books today, if she's ready to book today, I will offer her a 5% discount for pre-booking, 5% is not that much money, Little discounts like that to close a deal or get a client is worth it. Okay. Just getting sued. Sorry, I'm just now looking at what you guys are saying. I'm almost done, and then we'll do a Q&A. I am rambling, even though I have notes. I can talk about this topic for a while because I'm so passionate about it, and I feel like it was one of my favorite things or favorite parts about starting my own business. Even though it's scary, it's so exciting. But yeah, building confidence and clientele, consistent clientele, put yourself out there. So perfect practice, put yourself out there. You better have a Yelp by the end of the day. Instagram and Facebook, that is a business account, not private. If you don't already, do 5 models for free so you can get that portfolio going. Ask them for reviews. If you're doing free eyebrows, they better leave you a good review. On Facebook, Google, and Yelp. Copy, paste. Consultation, this is the big one. And this is why, as a gift to you guys, I have a little freebie included in this live stream. My recipe to my secret sauce, which is a consultation, my 3-part consultation. I'm telling you, you guys, my clients, I go over everything with them thoroughly, to the point where it's almost like I'm on autopilot because I've said it so many times that I know what people are going to ask. I know what they mean when they're trying to ask something, but they don't know how to ask it. And even though everyone's skin is different, I can usually predict or make a very educated guess on their results. Though I'm not perfect and you can never guarantee results, I can, usually give an educated guess. And if you communicate clearly with your client, the chances of them being confused or upset when their eyebrows start to scab over, or after the scabs fall off, when they ghost you, when they disappear for a while, they won't be as surprised. And if they are, they don't listen. I put all this info on my website. I have a video on my website. It's in their paperwork. I go over it in person. It is literally everywhere but on the walls in the bathroom at my studio. So it just goes to show that even if you tell someone, people still don't listen. So when in doubt, don't just tell them once, tell them twice. That same goes for getting approval, okay? When I'm asking if someone likes their brow shape, when I'm doing the pre-draw, I say, do you like it? And they say yes. And I said, okay, so you love it, you approve the shape, and they say yes. They're gonna remember that. You made a point to, be mindful of their decision process or, their consent. It's all about consent these days. Okay, so make sure to download that document. It's 3 pages, and it goes over the perfect client consultation. You cannot fail. Basically, it's 3 parts. The consent form, which you find out the, medical history, and it also goes over all of your policies and procedures, what to expect, how to prep. Initial, sign, they're signing their life away. And sometimes I'm all caps, bold, underline, and that's because I'm yelling at them due to a client taking advantage of me or not listening and causing more work or wasting my time. So, if you have that record of it, not only do you need to by law for insurance, but you can refer to it later, okay? But also get information, their age, their Fitzpatrick scale, their skin type, if they have previous PMU, if they have if they're on blood thinners, skin conditions, all of those things. Fill that out prior to their appointment. That way, they don't show up to their appointment and they have rosacea. Well, I can't work on you. I just set aside 3 hours to do your brows. And now what am I going to do for the next 3 hours? You know, nothing. But if you had them fill out paperwork prior to their appointment and you made sure to remind them to fill it out, and then you checked it 48 hours prior to their appointment, if there are any issues or questions, you can call, email, or text them. And if needed, reschedule or cancel their appointment if they're not a candidate. So make it easier for you. Saves time, money, and really it's helpful for the clients because they want to know what's going on. Okay, the second part of the consultation is, you know, an interview with your client. Basically an open line of communication. If you're not asking your clients what are their eyebrow goals, okay, let me start that sentence over. If your clients are telling you, when you ask, what are your eyebrow goals? And they say, I don't know, I want them to look natural, dig deeper. Because everyone says, I want my eyebrows to look natural, and that they're nervous. Natural is code for they want their brows to look good, so don't F them up, okay? Your job is to figure out what natural means. And to thoroughly explain the differences in microblading, ombre, powder, combo, brow, because if most people think that microblading strokes is the most natural. And the reason why they think that is because the before and after pictures, they do look the most natural, but once they see them healed, they may not necessarily agree. Or if your client's skin is really thin and sensitive and they have very misshaped, coarse, thick hair, strokes are not going to reshape or define those eyebrows. You need to do like a ombre brow, you know? So finding the right procedure is going to be possible when you do a thorough consultation, okay? There's a lot of people who are not candidates for microblading. Send them home. Do not make the mistake I did and try working on someone's skin who is not going to heal well, because the only thing that's gonna happen is you're not gonna be satisfied. And if you're not happy, how the heck are they gonna be happy knowing that they just paid money for you to give them eyebrows that didn't meet their expectations? So for me, I always am very honest and open with my clients on what to expect and realistic expectations, okay? If something isn't realistic, I'll tell them, sorry, I can't do that. We can try to get you there, but I can't do that, you know? It's better than taking their money and then coming back and saying, you know, this isn't what I wanted, and then suing you or asking for a refund, okay? The last part of your consultation is going over your findings. So I always explain to them what I'm seeing, what I'm doing. You know, I explain to them that I explain what the brow mapping is, why those black lines look crazy, and what is the point of those lines on their face. I explain what to expect, the numbing, how it's gonna feel, how it's gonna sound. All of these things, because the more confident you are, meaning if you can explain the service in your own words to your client, you sound like you know what you're talking about, okay? Even if you've only worked on 3 people, trust me, I know this for a fact because that's what I did. I was able to answer people's questions and sound confident about it. Now I'm better at answering those questions. I have more experience to back up those questions and give more accurate, you know, answers. But nevertheless, fake it till you make it, but don't lie, okay? If you don't know the answer to something, just say, you know, that's a really good question. I've never had someone ask me that. I'm gonna need to look into that. I don't wanna give you, you know, any misinformation. Okay. Okay. So just so you guys know, I don't do consultations anymore. I mean, I do, but I'm saying I don't do them separately because for me, it's not smart scheduling with the amount of experience I have. I'll have them send me pictures. And if I still have questions and I'm not confident in those pictures, then I'll have them set up a consult with me or a Zoom. But doing a separate consultation prior to the actual procedure isn't forever. It's just to help build confidence and get you comfortable talking to clients so that it seems like you know what you're talking about, even though you lack the years of experience. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna give you an example. A couple of years ago, I had a guy book an appointment for microblading, which I was really excited because I don't get many males. But I probably only get a few a year. So I was excited. Now, unfortunately, I was excited but also nervous because lack of experience. Fortunately and unfortunately, he was 30 or 40 minutes, he was 30 minutes late, I think, to his appointment, which my policy is if you're more than 10 minutes late, it's considered a no-show and the cancellation fee will be charged. Now, obviously, if they're 15 minutes late and my schedule allows me to take that client, I'm gonna take them. I don't wanna steal people's money, or not steal, but I don't want to take people's money. I'd rather make the full 800 than only 400, because I'm gonna have a happy client and make more money. But anyway, besides the point. So he was very late, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise because since he shows up and I told him I wouldn't have time to do his brows, that we'd have to reschedule, but let's go ahead and talk about what his eyebrow goals are so that, he knew what to expect for his appointment. I'm so glad I did that because his situation was he has alopecia. His eyebrow hair will come and go. So sometimes he has eyebrows, sometimes they're completely gone. So at the time they were gone, he showed me pictures and then I asked for him to send them to me of what he looks like with his eyebrows. You better believe it. I went home, I zoomed in, and I literally figured out that exact stroke pattern, that hair growth pattern, because I wanted to make sure that my stroke pattern matched his natural hair growth as much as possible so that when his hair grew back, my work wasn't here and his eyebrow hair was up here, And he was so stoked. He loved his eyebrows. And his hair has grown back, not all the way, but it blends really well. So it was a blessing in disguise, but I did learn that, doing a consultation prior to your appointment, actually helps you prepare, which in turn builds confidence, boosts your self-esteem, and you're gonna be able to deliver a better procedure because you are more prepared, and that's gonna create happier customers. And when you have happy customers, they tell their friends who tell their friends. So then you're booked out, more consistently. And once you're booked out a month in advance or however long in advance, and you've been doing it for a year or so, you can raise your price from $250 to $500. I don't know. So yeah. Okay, the last thing is always, and you guys, this is so important, always include your touch-up. So some people do, some artists choose, and it's their personal preference, to do their initial microblading appointment for X amount of dollars and then charge another fee for the touch-up. You can come in. It's okay, I'm almost done. And, hi guys, come here. And then charge another fee for the touch-up. I would not recommend this because if we're talking about building confidence, what type of expectations are you, I forgot I'm wearing a mic. What type of expectations are you setting for yourself if you don't include that complimentary touch-up, as long as it's done within a certain time frame? I do mine 8 to 12 weeks after the initial. So let me break it down to you. When I first started, I charged, let's say, $300 for eyebrows, and then $150 for a touch-up. I can't remember, those prices are wrong, but something like that. And I remember one of my first few clients didn't come back for her touch-up. So I didn't get to see the healed results, which, how do I know how they look? She's walking around and, walking advertisement billboard, and if they don't look good, she's gonna tell people I did her brows, and that could really misrepresent me. So I wanna see my work. I want the opportunity to perfect my work. So if they got great retention, maybe it just means adding a few strokes, or if they got terrible retention, going over it again, or switching from strokes to ombre, or whatever, using a darker pigment. When you don't include a complimentary touch-up, clients tend to feel like they've been hustled when they need an additional appointment. So just do yourself a favor. It's very simple. Whatever you want to charge, however much money you want to make. So let's just say $500 because it's an easy round number. That would include both your initial appointment and your touch-up. So if you originally were only charging, let's say, $400 for your microblading, will you give them a treat? There. If you were charging only $400 for your microblading appointment and you were not including the touch-up, but you were telling them, okay, so if you want to touch up, it's going to cost $175. Or let's say 150, easier math. First off, it doesn't make sense, because how are you going to explain why a touch-up only costs $150 when the eyebrows, the initial eyebrow service costs, I can't remember what I said, you guys, $500, I think. Because they're gonna be like, well, is this less important? Or why do I have to pay more? I already paid $500. Collect all of your money up front. If the client chooses not to come, well, then you already have the money and it's, it's no big deal. But you want them to come in because you want pictures of the healed results. This is gonna, build your portfolio. People need to see healed results. Otherwise, how can they trust the credibility of your work? Everyone can post before and after photos and they look amazing. But how do they look healed is really, proof is in the pudding, okay? Proof is in the healed pudding. So, include a complimentary touch-up within a certain time frame. And just adjust your prices accordingly. This will build your confidence because you're not going to stress out if your clients didn't get perfect retention. If your clients, a lot of clients don't get perfect retention and they need a touch-up. It's the first time you've worked on them, especially with microblading. Maybe you need to add more strokes or go over strokes that faded. Maybe you need to go darker, whatever. You want the opportunity to make it perfect. So, not to fix it, don't ever use the word fix, to perfect it. And don't call it a free appointment because it undermines or undervalues that service. I would just call it a follow-up or a touch-up appointment where we address any of concerns they may have due to pigment retention or lack of pigment retention. Or maybe they want to go darker, bolder, thicker. Most people do because they're ready for it now. So yes, include a complimentary touch-up, but make sure you are doing it in a given time frame. I recommend 8 to 12 weeks, but at least give them, a month to get in. Now, if they don't come to that touch-up appointment, if they miss it, well, then they are shit out of luck, right? I mean, it's not fair to keep pushing that date back. So be very upfront and clear about your policies. Otherwise, again, they're gonna feel like they're being hustled. So combine it, okay? Plus, it's more money up front. Why wouldn't you want to do it that way? I never get why people charge extra for touch-ups, because it's more stress on you. So you're gonna be worried, and when you're worried, it really does show. It manifests like visually, where people can sense that like fear or lack of confidence. But when you have that touch-up to fall back on, or to, assist in the whole like process, if you're not sure of which color to choose, medium brown or dark brown, and the client is scared to go too dark, okay, well, we're gonna do the medium brown. We can start conservative, and if it's too light at your touch-up, we can go a little darker. And I'm telling you, clients they like that. They like to know that, they can start off conservative, because most people are scared and don't wanna jump in head first. They wanna dip their toes in. Okay, you guys, I've been talking for a while, so I'm tired. I'm sure you have already, tuned me out, but don't forget about your freebie. It's the it's my consultation outline, the 3 steps. I'm telling you, 100%. Do that consultation in person, and most of your clients will be very clear on how to prep for their service, aftercare, what to expect, all of the above. And even with a good explanation, you're still gonna have those clients who just don't listen and call you every day during the healing process, but that's okay. We love them just as much. So make it easier for yourself. The only way to build confidence, and like I said, people ask me this all the time, it's in your hands. Make it easy. Practice perfectly. Stop, trying to ski down a double diamond when you've never skied before. Go down the bunny slopes, get a trainer, take a couple classes, build your confidence. Practice on models for free, at least 5, so that you have 10 services under your belt, and you've built a portfolio. Put yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable. Like I said, guys are used to it. They hear girls say no to them all the time. It's okay. We can start to get comfortable hearing no too. Put yourself out there. Yelp, Instagram, Facebook, and make sure they're a business and they're not private. And ask for reviews. It's kind of awkward, but hey, it really isn't. You just spent like 3 hours doing your eyebrows. Just be like, hey, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experience, nudge, nudge, 5-star, they'll do it. And you can always do the sympathy of like, yeah, I'm a new business, I'm just trying to grow, I totally did that. I was new to St. Louis, and I'm like, I'm not from here, I don't have any friends, sit with me. And people did, they left me reviews, and it helped my business a lot. And then lastly, complimentary touch-ups. If you are charging extra for your touch-up, and your client feels like they got hustled, they are not gonna refer their friends to you. They're gonna refer them to me. Just kidding. But I'm telling you, you're gonna feel that pressure just totally release. The stress, anxiety of making it so perfect that it's unattainable, unrealistic, in just one try. So that will help build your confidence. And with all of these things combined, you are going to have more clients, because now you have a well-oiled machine that is consistent, and what's the word I'm looking for? You've built boundaries. Don't let people walk all over you, okay? Because once you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Trust and believe me. Okay, I couldn't see your comments, so I'm gonna just take a couple minutes to look at them. A lot of them that I did see in the beginning are videos that I've already made. Yes, you guys can rewatch this. Getting sued, I don't have a video on that, but all I can say is get insurance and do everything I just said in this video. Paperwork, a consultation prior to even your client booking their actual appointment, confirming everything that you do before doing it to them twice. And I can't think of why people would sue you, honestly. Like, Mallory, can you think of why someone would sue you? I mean, unless you like really mess them up. I can't.
If they got a disease or something.
Yeah, if you get an infection, most likely it's because you didn't wash your brows when you got home. And I told you, I had it written down twice for you on your little gift bag. Once on the Tina Davies card, once on our card, on the website, on the YouTube video, on how to do aftercare. I mean, yeah. So if someone's suing you, you want to go talk to a lawyer, because I am not one. Consistency in clients, everything I just said, but I also have a good video. It's one of my first videos on how to get new clients. Just a little quick tip, go to anyone in the beauty industry, estheticians, cosmetologists, you know, nails, hair, skin, massage, whatever, acupuncture, I don't know, and offer them 50% off for your service, because like when I did this for people in the hair industry, I got so many clients. I mean, think about it, like when you get your hair done, you're looking at them for like 2 hours and at a mirror, just looking at them. And you're like, oh, your brows look good. And they're like, yeah, Boss Brows did them. They're like, oh, okay, so leave cards with them. So, you know, you're giving them a discount, but you're actually getting something in return. So that's like the easiest one, I think. Finding the right pressure, trying not to go too deep. Take my training. Because you probably need to go over your technique, and technique is something that you learn in like a introductory microblading class. I have tons of videos on it on YouTube, but if those haven't been helpful, you need to do a training, because if your building blocks aren't solid, if your technique, you know, your foundation isn't solid, then you're not going to get the results you want. No, I don't charge for consultations, but I do require a deposit or a credit card so that if they miss it, they will be charged a no-show fee, because we ain't got time for that, okay? No way. Do you take deposits scheduling their appointment? No, and this is why. I have learned that if I were to take a deposit, so microblading is $800 for me. If I charge them $400 up front, when they check out after their service, their credit card is gonna be ran for $400. So when they ask, if you know, someone asks, do you wanna leave gratuity? That gratuity, like the automatic percentage that's calculated for them, is off $400, not $800. And how awkward is it to be like, so you're being charged $400 a day, but the service was $800. You know, like it's awkward. So I found that if I just require a credit card to reserve their appointment, that the amount of clients' cards that decline when they no-show me is less than the amount of tips I get. You make a lot of money from tips because it's a high ticket service. So I would rather make the tips off of the full price than half of it. Not all people think to tip on the whole service. Yes, you can do a third touch-up. Just don't work on someone's skin too soon. Make sure they're healed by a third time. If it's not working, it's not, microblading is not for them. And microblading isn't for a lot of people, unfortunately. But most likely, unless you are so confident of your technique and experience, most likely it's something on your end. Those building blocks I was talking about. Check your stretch, check your direction of your blade, the angle of your pins, and if you're holding the skin on the flattest part of the bone. Those 4 things right there, if those aren't all check, 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 then you're not gonna get, I do that on every single stroke, and my strokes don't all heal perfectly. So I know that my technique is solid, especially because the way clients tell me their healing was, they don't scab over a lot. It's very thin, like a thin film, which is what you should expect when there's less trauma caused to the skin. So if you're still working on that technique, I have videos on that. I think my last video is on that depth and retention. Or you can take my class, because it is, I mean, it's hard concept, but once you get it, you'll be gravy. Okay, one more question. I wish I could be trained by you. Well, I mean, you can. I just made your wish come true. You can. We have an online microblading course. So that is $1,500. And I know I'm biased, but it really is a phenomenal online course, because I'm working with you one-on-one. You're sending in homework, and I'm, giving you feedback, critique. You have unlimited access to the course. So if there's anything added, or a new tip or trick I developed and want to share with you, you'll have access to it. Our private Facebook group, we share, ask questions. And when I say you have continued support with me, you really do. I still talk to students all the time. And unfortunately, I don't feel like that's true for all trainings. It's hard. But yes, you can train with me online. The link is in the description below, along with those freebie downloadable documents. So enjoy. You can sign up for the training, and you can start today. So you can start right now. Boom. I'm a genie. I made your wish come true. All right, you guys, thanks for listening to me ramble. Sorry about Monday. Just expect me to always be 5 to 15 minutes late if I'm doing live. All right, love you.